up and away. We're leaving Mozambique.
We're not racing, but we're definitely going to beat them. We snapped it.
The mast started creaking, really did put this boat through its paces. Oh my goodness, there's this huge lightning bolt going down to the ocean.
After a week of hiding out from the bad weather, the frontal low had passed through and the sun had begun to shine once again. The forecast, although short, looks good enough to sail to Richards Bay, South Africa before the next southerly blow is forecast. This coastline must be navigated carefully as the Aghulus current rips southbound up to 4 knots. This can be our friend or our worst enemy. When the strong low pressure systems pass through, they create a wind against current scenario which can build giant waves and are extremely dangerous conditions for a small craft like us to be at sea. This is why we first made the decision to stop off here in Mozambique. We had an unexpected, amazing week at Ling Linga whilst waiting for the weather to pass. What would have normally been a boring and mundane week was made into a fun and enjoyable destination due to the hospitality of Costello Resort where we were anchored out front. Waking to blue skies, there was still remnants of the southerly wind blowing, but steadily we prepared Nandji for the miles ahead, stowing the outboard and hauling the dinghy on deck to help look after our cracked dinghy davits. We are expecting a rolly, stirred-up ocean to begin with until the northerly wind settles in and calms the sea state. But there is no time like the present to get the ball rolling and finally make way towards a destination we've been planning to visit for a long time. South Africa, here we come.
We're up and away. It's 7 o'clock. We're leaving Mozambique. Next stop is Richards Bay, South Africa. We have roughly 390 nautical miles to sail, but we will have favouring winds and a favouring current as well. That Aghulus current is going to kick in, so it should be a fast ride and hopefully a comfortable one. It's a little bit nerve-wracking heading down the wild coast of Africa, but this is the first hop and I'm sure it's going to be great. We got Nina and Arthur are on the boat. We've got a good crew and ready to go.
A convoy of 3, we've got the cruising Kiwis and sailing Excelsior, the 2 catamarans, 1 mono, you know what that means.
It's a race,
We're not
baby.
racing, but we're definitely going to beat them. Inside here, it's some pretty big tides at the moment. We're already doing 8.5 knots, just leaving the lagoon here. So we're going to fly. Let's go.
That's looking good. Looking the goods.
So it was fun.
Nice
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Say bye-bye, Mozambique.
It was a great surprise.
Yeah.
First part of the passage is a little bit uncomfortable because we're going into the swell. We also have a headwind, 15 knots of southerly that we're motoring into, but the southerly is meant to drop out later on today and then the northerly wind will kick in. So we're currently heading offshore. We're trying to find the current that runs along the coast. It generally is in about 200 metres and we're in 145 metres at the moment. So the plan is to head a bit further out to sea, find that current. It should be around 2 to 3 knots. Let's keep motor sailing until that northerly wind kicks in and pushes us up. We've only got a short weather window, so we're just trying to get out as soon as we can before a strong southerly blow comes up the coast in a few days' time. It's a beautiful day, clear skies, sun shining, happy days. What you doing in the water?
Well, under the low RPM, you hear a bit of noise coming out of the back. But we got a fair bit of cavitation because of barnacles and growth and stuff. I really should have cleaned the prop this morning. It's fine, it's just a little bit of a cool. I'm not afraid to still use the motor, but we don't have to use the motor now. We're still sailing for 6 knots plus, so I'm going to get there way before Wednesday.
In Mali? It's almost 4 a.m. and wait, hang on a minute. Yeah, it's almost 4 a.m. and the sun is starting to rise already. So I can safely say that we have made it through the night. We were bashing up wind in the morning, which we knew would happen, but those winds were meant to drop out in the afternoon. They didn't. They started increasing, and so going into the night we were like slamming into these waves, bashing up wind, and the wind just kept getting stronger and to around 20 knots. And the whole front of the boat was just violently crashing into waves, and the mast started creaking. We've got a few new creaks around the boat now. It really did put this boat through its paces. It was just a little bit too rough out here. We ended up reefing down, and then the wind dropped out and just decided to swing all kinds of angles. So from then on it was just a sail change every hour, and none of us could really sleep. I was a bit nervous to turn on the engine because of the prop issues that we had before, but we ended up turning the motor on for 2 hours and motored, and it was fine. So super happy about that. We were out of the current, only doing 3 knots, so that was a little bit stressful. The wind's finally swung to the north. We're in the current. We're doing like 8 knots, and it is just such a dream. It's so smooth and beautiful, and I think this is what it's all about. I think this is us from now on out. We've got northerly winds, and we found the current, so we're on the gravy train, baby.
Well, we really do need to get to Richards Bay. Oh, Nandji too's hanging on. We just did our job, you know. We've been heading south in that current the whole way, trying to get around this bank. You know, maybe we're being a lazy sailor all these times, you know. If we were racing, you'd let off the boom bang and all that sort of business, but really we've just had the boom bang tied off in its one position, and that's just how it lives. It's through that jibe, it's on it, and we snapped it. The absolute cast, the mounting that's attached to the mast. So, yeah, I always sort of wanted to replace this boom bang, so I guess this might be the opportunity to do exactly that. But heading dead downwind now, our mainsail is looking the best it's ever. So hindsight, maybe we just learned to become better sailors. It's all good in the hood, forecast still looks good. We got 48 hours to reach Richards Bay. Because we don't have a multi-plus at the moment, so we don't have an inverter throughout the boat, which means we don't have AC power. And for us to have AC power, we need to run the generator, and because we don't have heaps of fuel, we only run the generator when we are making water. So we got our EcoFlow solar panel, a portable panel out here, which then charges our portable power stations. And so then we have some power other than our battery bank, because once again, even our solar, our big ass Davin solar on the back here seems to keep tripping as well at the moment. So we are charging batteries through a little bit of solar on the Bimini, through the davits until it trips, and then I go and flick the switch again. Oh, hang in there, girl. You're a beautiful boat. You'll get us there safe. Oh, looks like the wind sensor stopped working too. Awesome. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot to mention that our davits is snapped, being held together with rope and the outboard crane. So Richards Bay in South Africa is looking very appealing at the moment.
We still have barnacles on the prop, and Richards Bay, they have crocodiles, hippos and sharks. So we figured that it's probably best to deal with it now and clean it a bit now at sea rather than trying to do it in the marina there because
yeah, I don't want to deal with hippos, crocodiles and sharks.
Yeah.
At least out here there's no hippos, there's no crocodiles. There might be a shark, but hey.
I think I'd take your chances out here.
I'd take my chances out here than I would in close to the African coast.
We're going to stop the boat. Josh is going to jump in with a scraper and a leg rope on, and it's just going to give the prop a little bit of a zhuzh.
Bit of a zhuzh.
Yeah.
It's at that stage where it hasn't done the test of time, so we have to clean it. So we've just done that like 270 turn. We're fully locked back up to port. Head sail's back sheeted across the bow, so we should just slowly move forward at this pace, which seems to be what we're doing.
Still. Did you get some off?
Yeah,
What's going on?
yeah, it's the cutlass bearing in the skeg. Got a little bit of play and rattle, so when we start getting that,
Yep.
that's just what makes it stop spinning back.
We got work to do, don't we? Richards Bay can't come any sooner.
Gosh.
You guys were in the Viva during that rough upwind bash. How was it up there?
Yeah, I think we touched several times the roof.
The
maybe.
roof.
Yeah.
We didn't touch some at the bed, how it was not like
Yeah.
Flying the whole
fly
night.
and crash, fly and crash.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Any words there,
It's
Yosh?
just another thing that's broken, you know, how that drum on the furler, so the rope sometimes jumps off and then binds up on the bearing underneath it, so you have to do that slow and steady. Just another thing to fix in Richards Bay.
Yeah.
We are just next to the border, maybe 10 miles,
Yeah.
7 knots,
Yeah.
with just 10 knots of wind.
We're in the current.
Current. Thank you, current.
Thank you, Karen. Alpha, what's the big thing you want to do in South Africa?
Drakensberg.
What's Drakensberg?
That's mean the mountain of the dragon. It's the highest mountain in South Africa and the border of Lesotho, which is like a really small country in South Africa.
Yeah.
So we want to hike, both of us, because it looks amazing.
Yeah. You're a lover of mountains.
Yeah.
There's actually a lightning storm up at Richards Bay that's moving out across the ocean, and so we really didn't want to get caught up in that. So instead of continuing on further south, oh my goodness, there's this huge lightning bolts going down to the ocean. But yeah, instead of continuing on into that, we've detoured to head back into land more, and hopefully we can avoid any of that nasty business. But we really depowered the boat. We took the main down. The wind's like 15 knots, but then we were getting these gusts of 25, and the boat was just felt a little bit wild. So we were doing over 10 knots with the full main, and then we put a second reef in, and it still wasn't great. So for the night time, we've taken the main down. We're just running under the head sail, and we're doing 6 knots. So yeah. Because we've just got the head sail out, the boat is quite rolly, so everything in the covers is just going bang, bang, bang. I'm just glad to not be going towards the lightning bolts. They're very rare. Every now and then there'll just be a huge one that just looks like a huge bolt down to the ocean. So we were pushing on to Richards Bay to beat a little southerly blow that was going to kick up, and the forecast has changed a little bit, and that's not really actually happening. Like, there's a little bit of a southerly wind, but it's not much. So we do have some more time up our sleeve to get there a little bit later if we need to. So, but I think once we get down to the coast and we go along it, we're absolutely going to fly in the current into Richards Bay. So let's just get down there. It should be all over in a few hours. So it's tight. It's day number 3 at sea. The days have been pretty pleasant out here on the ocean. It's the night times that are catching us out, and the lightning storm last night was a little bit too close for comfort. The lightning storm came off from the land and went out in front of us. Yeah, we got through it okay. The cruising Kiwis, they were actually a little bit further offshore than we were, and I think they had it pretty rough out there too with the lightning. Excelsior were inshore and they had their radar on and they were navigating through the lightning storm using their radar. So we all had a bit of a taste of it last night. We had our electronics in the oven. Yeah, luckily there was no strikes and no damage done to our electronics. The southerly wind that we were rushing to beat is no longer a threat, but there will be another lightning storm. We are just trying to get into Richards Bay as soon as we can. On the weather forecasting charts, we're actually in a dead spot at the moment, but we have about 10 knots of wind, which we're using full sail and sailing at around 5 to 6 knots. So making progress, and hopefully the northerly winds will pick up soon and we can take off. Josh is really knackered.
Pretty tired.
Yes, he's been battling a lot of the weather.
It was a bit of a doozy last night in the regards of like the lightning and all that was just more scary because you don't want to get zapped by lightning. But the wind and sea state were pretty calm and nice. But then like, as we sort of got through the clouds, it's just like a little tap on the butt, off you go.
Yeah.
And like 30 to 40 knots there for an hour. It just like, it was all sweet, we're running with it, and then it just wanted to go bonkers for like 10 minutes. I saw 60 plus knots on the wind thing, just one gust into the 60s.
Wow, that's a first.
That was a first.
Yeah.
So.
It just reminds us, you know, of this is the wild coast, you know, and things change rapidly, very quickly out here.
Yeah,
so
it
we
changed
don't.
rapidly.
Yeah.
It went from that back to 50 for like 10 minutes, then like an hour later, bam, 30 knots southerly on the nose. Like it just changed instantly like that. It was like, what are you doing? For like an hour, so we couldn't go anywhere. We basically hove to and just sat there and copped it for an hour.
Yeah.
Just couldn't make any ground.
Yeah, I think we tried to motor against everything, and it was only like 4 knots, so we were just wasting fuel.
The sea turned into it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Oh, I need a coffee.
How was your night?
Oh, first time in a storm.
Yeah.
I remember waking up for my shift and I slept really well. Just Nina told me like, look at the window, and I seen like big flashes everywhere, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was scary, but everything went well.
Yeah. Yeah.
All good. Nandji still handle it.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to keep moving. You know, if you're a moving target, you're harder to hit. So that's what we did. I'm just glad, like normally with the lightning like this, it's very loud and there's just like cracks that just are deafening and just they run through your body and just make you all scared, you know. And last night there was a bit of rumbling in the clouds, but there wasn't these like super loud lightning cracks. So it was better than it could be. Yeah. Another day. Hopefully we'll get into Richards Bay today. That's what we're hoping for. But we'll see what the winds do. Finally getting up to the 6 to 7 knot mark, hunting for that current.
Alright, well, I'm a bit more awake now. Seems to be the story of the whole passage where I thought there was going to be current really strong. There was nothing. There was no current I was expecting, and there was like 2-3 knots. So it's been one of those passages. Just can't see where the current is. If we keep hauling ass 8 knots, we'll be in a Richards at like 8 p.m.
Closing in, we have 65 nautical miles left to go to reach Richards Bay, and we're doing 7 to 9 knots, so we're going to get there pretty quickly. We're on the wild coast of South Africa.
Sitting there pretty well, sustaining 25 to 30, so running with the current, it's building up a lot of bycaps and a lot of real short, steep seas. We've got the rope out again. A lot of people ask about the rope, the idea behind the rope is it's just got a few knots in it to add friction to something that the rope will swing. So it's dragging in the water, yeah, it slows us down a bit. The best thing ever, it just makes the autopilot just screams thank you AM rather than like going full on left and right. It just goes side to side now. But because we're expecting the odd potential like real rowdiness like we did last night, I chucked in a heap of extra knots in the rope. There's just dead downwind, perfectly just like sitting there, just cruising 50, 60, like Nandji 2 was just no phase, didn't matter. Try a smaller one.
Yay! Surf Nandji! Land ho! AC South Africa.
Well, this is definitely the angle of the jangle. But while we've been bashing around out there for so long, I'm right in here now. We're in like the 500 metre line off the coast, and the current is ripping. Average of boat speed at 9 knots now. Nandji's in the 9 club. Nandji's in the 9 club. Little parrot downstairs. So we just do 10 knots now.
Papa's cooking the last dinner at sea.
Oh, got cooking.
Yeah, on the wild coast of South Africa.
Everything is flying. Ah, that's hard.
Frustrating.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's challenging.
Yeah. What are you making for dinner, Lila?
What is the dessert tonight?
Ice creams.
Ice creams? And you forgot something. Where is it? What is it? The coo?
It's a cookie!
A cookie!
Cookie.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Cookies and ice cream. Sounds like dessert's taken care of.
Richards Bay, Port Control, Richards Bay, Port Control, sounding the ice, Nandji 2, do you copy?
There's the Kiwis in Excelsior. Cheers, everyone! Cheers. South Africa! We did it! Wow, the wild coast. We're here.
A 400-mile passage to Richards Bay was a little more lively than we had anticipated. Although tying up to that dock at midnight was the best feeling, we have arrived. Here we are in South Africa. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and join the Froth family for extra content and to help support our videos. Click that link on the screen. Cheers legends, see you next time.